Welcome to the CBS Eye on Money Show. It's Thursday, April 28th, and I am joined by my co-host, Mark Talercio, executive producer extraordinaire. Hi, where's my wedding invitation, dude?
Yeah, that's coming up. That's happening soon.
Yeah, when?
Between now and the end of May, I would say. It might stretch into early June, but I don't think so.
Don't forget, I'm going to Vegas in June, so don't mess me up. There's only so many people who are coming to this thing, and since I account for 2 of the 12, I want to make sure you don't schedule it when I'm not here. When was the actual engagement? Let's just think about this. What year did you get engaged?
We got engaged on this. You want me? I was going to share way too much information, but the fall of 2018 in Italy.
It's a long time coming, dude. You have to have a baby in between. There's a lot that has happened in between.
Well, if you really put on your investigative hat, we were engaged in Italy in 2018, and Theo was born a few months later in 2019.
Let me think about that. All right, I don't have to think too hard. If you have been engaged for a long time and want some tips on how you can move the process along, Aunt Jill is happy to help you. If you would like to ask a financial question, you can go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air. Right now, we are going to go to Matt, who's with us from California, in Southern California. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Jill and Mark. Thanks for having me on.
First of all, Matt woke up about 5 minutes ago. So we're going to let him kind of like get his sea legs right now. Matt, what brings you to us? What can we help you with today?
Well, my wife and I are around early 30s. We're looking to, I know better than to ask for early retirement, but we're looking to get some optionality, maybe around 50 to 55.
I like that I have like basically made people afraid to say early retirement. That's great. Okay. What do you guys do now? You're like working full time?
Yes, we're both working full time.
You have kids?
We have no kids, but maybe planning for one in the next couple of years.
Okay. How much do you guys earn together?
Together, we earn about $290,000 a year.
290. Wow. That's awesome. And are you putting money away into retirement?
We both max out our 401ks at work, and we've done backdoor Roths for the past couple of years.
Are you using traditional 401ks?
Yeah, so that's part of the question is I think if we were to do this 50-55 adventure, that we would need to survive kind of off brokerage income. And so the question is whether or not to kind of stop contributing so much into 401ks and then kind of contributing more into a brokerage. Currently, my wife does have a traditional and Roth option, but we're both in all traditional.
And how much money is in the traditional environment right now, and how much is in Roths?
The traditional, we have about 210. In the Roths, we have about 50 grand.
Okay. And what about brokerage accounts? Do you have anything now?
Yeah. In the brokerage, we have about 164.
Great. What do you put it in? Index funds, stocks, crypto? What's your...
They're in assorted like mutual funds, most of them index funds.
Okay. Got it. How about just plain old cash in the bank?
We have about 50 grand in cash.
Tell us about your living situation.
We own a home currently valued, I think, 1.2, 1.3 million. And we owe about 660 on the mortgage.
Is the house available for a downsize at age 50, 55? Like if you want to do this, can we tap the equity or not?
I think we could.
Okay. Why so much equity? Just is that the growth of the market or did you put money down?
So the first couple of years, we were really kind of gung-ho about trying to pay it off. And then it was just a very tall wall to climb.
It's also like you lose your liquidity.
Yeah. So we found that out pretty fast.
Yeah. Like, wow, don't need to do that. Okay. What else do I want to know? Life insurance?
We don't have life insurance yet. I was actually looking to probably get term life insurance once we had a kid. We both get life insurance right now through work. My wife significantly more so. I'm about, I think, salary for a year and a half.
And how about just a simple, what we like to call a sweetheart will? I leave you everything, you leave me everything.
We are working on that. I tried to get it done before I got on the show, but
Again, I'm so glad. So here's this is where I have actually instilled some fear. One is don't come on the show without your wills, or at least while we're starting, or we know we were coming on the show. So we had to actually go to Policy Genius. And the second being don't use the words early retirement. Increased optionality versus early retirement. Okay. So wills, you're going to get that done. That's good. So do you get any bonus or options or stock or anything through your employers?
We do get bonuses and options. I get options. My wife gets a bonus. But I think at this point, they're kind of too small to be consequential. My wife gets maybe, I don't know, maybe 15 grand a year. And then I get a couple grand a year in terms of stock options.
That's great. Well, Mark, what do you think about the game plan? We got basically, let's call it 20. You said early 30s, and I have to get you to 55. So, 20 years. What do you think, Mark?
I think it's doable, but I do, like he said when he first came on, I do think if they want to do this, they need to start probably beefing up some of the brokerage accounts. So maybe have his wife do the 401k, and I would probably do it Roth. I mean, I would do it Roth, and then maybe have Matt take what would have been his contribution and put that in the brokerage account.
Well, do you have any extra cash flow if we look at both of you maxing out 401ks, doing your backdoor Roths, is there extra every month right now or not?
Yeah, we're looking at probably close to 2,000 a month.
Do you still want to pull back, Mark, or not?
I would probably have him do it to get the match.
Okay, that's right. That's a good idea. So how do you feel about that, Matt, that we would have you drop your contribution back to get your match, or whoever has the better match, right? And then redirect the extra money plus the $2,000 a month into the brokerage and really crank on that. Because I do think, depending on kind of the pathway here, that, we're only going to have this extra cash flow, this much extra cash flow for a limited time because you're going to have a kid.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think having, again, that optionality, just being able to figure out what's the best thing to do going forward. I think that you're really going to want to have money that's already been taxed. I guess the other, like the fail safe in the back of my mind is that there's going to be a lot of equity in this house. And depending, again, whether you have one kid, maybe there's going to be a couple of kids, and what happens, we still have to get the kid up, out, graduated, and so usually people are not particularly keen on, selling their home before all that happens. But at that moment, you really may have an opportunity, to grab an extra $1 million that we're not going to count on, but that could be a real difference here.
So what I'm hearing is I should lower my 401k to match and kind of divert as much cash as we can right now into the brokerage.
Yeah, and it's going to suck. I mean, you're going to pay more in taxes also. But, the trade-off is that options cost money. You have to divert the money into a less tax efficient environment because that's what gives you the options in the future, right? So that's the problem. And in a weird way, it's like, because I want to do this thing, it means that I have to not only save more, but I have to save more in a way that's not quite as tax efficient. But I'm willing to do that because I want to have a different life. I mean, really, you've been working for 5 minutes. What's so bad about work? I mean, do you have a terrible job or a good job? Tell us the truth.
No, we both have jobs right now. I mean, it was bad for a couple of years, I think, but we're kind of both in positions now where I think we can manage. It's not terrible.
Obviously, as life changes, you make different decisions. But for now, at least having the goal of doing this without driving yourself crazy also, like you want to live. This sounds good. And then maybe from 50 to 55, let's say you get to 55, the kid's done with high school. You figure out what you want to do next. You're going to find out that 4 decades of not working is a really long time. But I bet you'll want to do something else, right?
That's the plan. Yeah. The plan was they're trying to do kind of like less traditional stuff and kind of explore options. And
let's say you could do that right now. What options would you explore?
I think maybe I'd want to teach.
That sounds like a terrible idea. I mean, it is good. No, teaching, but it is hard. It's a hard job.
Oh, one more thing I wanted to ask is I've been hearing a lot of things about kind of like advisors. Do we need an advisor going
No.
forward, like fee only or whatever? Okay.
Nope. You don't need anything. You're in great shape as long as you can just manage this and do like crank on your savings. You may need to pay for someone to help you with an advice, like some sort of game plan for what the stages are as you get to the point where you're going to say change jobs, right? And then you could say like, well, I'm going to change jobs. What is my strategy from 55 to 65? What's my strategy from 65 till the moment I have to actually pull money out of our pre-tax retirement accounts? And then what's the strategy after that? There's like 3 phases, distinct phases. That's to me what you would want to be hiring somebody for. But for today, nah, I would take a big ball 4 on that.
Got it.
All right,
Thanks
man.
for the help.
You're in great shape. All right. If you, like Matt and his wife, want to not retire early, but have options, then give us a holler. All you need to do is go to jillonmoney.com, click the contact us button, and we'll get your note. And, sometimes we read emails, but we like to have you on the air. It's just a lot more fun. Remember that you can follow Eye on Money wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, you can check out our other broadcast, which is called Jill on Money. Yes. Hey, while you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Mark Talercio, thank you so much for co-hosting today and being the executive producer of my life. We are distributed by CBS. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. We ask you to put your hands metaphorically on someone's back because that's a nice thing to do. Curiosity, compassion, community. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.